Good morning, good morning. Good morning. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for just being here this morning. My name is Damien Jiggets. I have the honor and the privilege of serving as the executive director here at the Peter Paul Development Center, serving what will soon be over 300 of our young people here in this community. And we couldn't be more excited about this opportunity. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you all for being here this morning, recognizing the wonderful work that's going on in the out of school time space here in the city of Richmond. On behalf of so many of our children, the thousands and thousands of young people in our community, their parents, also an array of wonderful service providers who are providing quality care for our young people each and every day, all year long, through the summer, in the evenings, early in the morning, you name it. We're trying to take care of as many children as possible. And I want to thank you all for your continued investment, your trust in all of us and all that we do, and most importantly, for trusting in and believing in our young people. That is what we're here today. We're here to celebrate the investment, but more importantly, what that investment will do for our community. All right? So here at Peter Paul Development Center, I'm just going to speak just for a couple of minutes. What's very important to us is the academic success of our children, but we also understand that they can't exist outside of the context of their families. So we pay particular attention to engaging our families and making sure that our parents have the skills and the tools that they need to be as effective in supporting their young people throughout their academic endeavors. And we have the pleasure of serving, as it stands right now, right at about 300, and with this new support, we'll be closing in at 350, close to 400 students here in the East End across the 5 elementary schools here in the East End of Richmond. So we're really excited about that. Here's what you all have done. Our funding community here in the city of Richmond, Altria, the Community Foundation, and Robbins Foundation, they have invested in our children. And they've invested in making sure that our children have these additional experiences, these positive exposure opportunities. They've chosen coaches over drug dealers. They've chosen paintbrushes over pills. They've chosen our children's future. They've chosen Richmond Public Schools, and they've chosen to believe in our children. And so for that, I just really want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I also have the honor of introducing our champion for our young people here in the city of Richmond. I've had a chance to speak with this young man, this our great leader here in the community. You're younger than me. But I've had an opportunity to speak with him, and I know it's hard. I know it's important to him. I can relate to his personal lived experience. And so our mayor understands the importance of investing in our young people, our greatest assets. The only way that we're going to ensure that the children that we're raising right now, the children that we're serving right now, grow up to become adults and parents of children who no longer live in poverty, is to make sure that we're investing in a comprehensive way in our children. And so he gets that. He knows that. He's lived that. And I know I speak for all of the wonderful providers here in the city in saying that we know how important it is to make sure that our children have the tools and are equipped with the capacity they need to be effective in the classroom. And that starts outside of the classroom. And I can't say how proud I am to be a part of this team, this effort, this one city, Mr. Mayor, and seeing that our children are being well taken care of from the time that they wake up in the morning to the time they go home to their wonderful, caring families in the evening. So with that, I have the pleasure and the honor of introducing our mayor, your mayor, our children's mayor, Mr. LeVar Stoney. Thank you. Let's give another round of applause for Damien Jiggets and the Peter Paul team.
I would also be remiss if I did not recognize some folks who today would not occur without their help, and that is my friend Cheryl Burke here, who represents the 2nd District of the East End. School board member Linda Owens in the house as well. Young is here. Our Superintendent Jason Cameras is here as well. City Councilman Andreas Addison is with us today. And my man, Dr. Jeff Moore, the former chair of the school board, is with us. There's a number of people from my team who I would take all day to introduce, but I want to thank my team as well for getting us to this point today as well. When I campaigned for mayor, I made a promise. But what some of you all did not know, that promise was personal. I committed to doing whatever I could to champion Richmond's children and youth, particularly those who face disadvantages of poverty. As I've shared before, my commitment to kids and education is a personal one, rooted in my own childhood experiences. In office, this commitment has driven action. I've made critical investments in Richmond Public Schools. We've created opportunities like the one we have with the nonprofit and the funding community, ensure that every child who enters Richmond Public Schools has access to vision screenings and also eyeglasses. In my first year in my budget, I included an additional $6 million to support salary raises for our teachers. I also followed through my commitment to visit each school here in the district. I visited all 44 in my first year, and I'm going to get to another 44 again this year. In partnership with the school board and the city council, I led the creation of the Education Compact, which is now driving collaborative efforts to develop a plan to demand that the Commonwealth pay their fair share for education funding. And earlier this year, we made a new investment of $150 million to create new schools right here in the city of Richmond. But our children's lives aren't defined solely by school. In fact, kids just spend 20% of their lives in school, and my administration is committed to the whole child. The 80% of the time they spend outside the classroom. This commitment to the whole child compels us to consider that 80%. This is why I expended hours at community centers and funded bus passes for all RPS high school students in the city of Richmond. Out of school time opportunities also matter to families. On the campaign trail and now in office, I hear constantly from families that they just need something for their kids to do. A common refrain. High quality extracurricular programming gives kids something to do. Yes, but it also improves academic and life outcomes as well. Plus it gives parents and caregivers the peace of mind that their children are safe while they're working to provide for their families as well. Extracurricular activities are a critical part of my own story. I can remember as an ambitious third grader, when Miss Love, who was my social studies teacher at the time, selected me to join the social studies club because I was really good at rattling off the capitals and knowing the presidents back and forward and back. And she said, "You're going to be part of the social studies club. We're going to stay after school. We're going to learn more about the 50 states, about the countries." And I went home proud and told my dad and my grandmother that I was going to be able to be part of the social studies club. And then my father said, "Well, I'm working during those times, and I don't know how you're going to get from school back to home." I went back to Miss Love and said, "I don't think I can participate." She said she'll work something out. Me being an industrious third grader, I called the central office and see whether or not they could create an activity bus. And I remember the central office saying, "Excuse me, how old are you?" I said, "Don't worry about that. Let's get that bus there." But they didn't have a bus for a third grader. So Miss Love said, "Young man, there's going to be a parent who's going to take you home every day after school." Now I think about that today, just a ride home could have been a barrier for a child to experience high quality after school time. We all know that that should not be a barrier for any child in this city or around this country. I recognize that high quality extracurricular programming is a clear example example of the opportunity gap that exists among children from different income levels. And kids from low-income families tend to have fewer opportunities to play a sport, learn an instrument, or join a club than more than their affluent peers. My commitment to equity demanded that I do something about this. Out-of-school time programming is personal, as I said. It's an equity issue, and it's something I could address by leveraging the power of this office here. And so we spent much of the last 20 months in the office grappling with the question, what would it take to ensure that every single elementary and middle school student in the city of Richmond had access to high-quality extracurricular programming? The folks here today stepped up to help us answer that question. Nonprofits, including Peter Paul, the YMCA, Next Up RVA, and the Boys and Girls Club committed to expanding to new schools and providing more seats at existing schools. Funders, including Altria, Robbins Foundation, the Community Foundation, worked with us to review the nonprofits' expansion plans and identify and close the funding gaps. We'll hear more about them in a few minutes. And our own Parks and Recreation. Deborah Moore's with us today. Recognizing how many of Richmond's children already participate in their programming, committed to implementing a continuous improvement tool to ensure that they are providing the highest quality programming they can. Richmond Public School principals opened their doors to our nonprofit partners to expand existing programs and launch new programming on school sites. Meanwhile, after we revamped the application process to increase the number of grantees providing a high-quality extracurricular programming, and I included in my budget more than $1 million in non-departmental funds granted to nonprofit partners working to support kids in and out of school. City Council, let's give a round of applause to City Council, recognized the value of these things. And they approved the appropriation. We have worked together. We don't get here working individually, we have to work together. And for a year and a half now, we've worked through a lot of challenges and we've endeavored to answer the question of closing the out-of-school time opportunity gap here in the city. Today, I'm thrilled to share the progress towards our goal that all elementary and middle school students in Richmond Public Schools will have access to high-quality, full-service extracurricular programs by 2020 in the city of Richmond. By 2020, every elementary and middle school will have high-quality programming offered either on-site programming or at nearby off-site locations with transportation provided. By 2020, we will expand access to extracurricular activities for more than 1,000 additional elementary and middle school students. This year, that means that in the East End, Peter Paul will be opening new programs at George Mason, Bellevue, and Chimborazo elementary schools, while doubling the number of kids they serve at Fairfield Court. This year, that means on the South Side, the YMCA will be opening new programs at Francis, Green, and Red elementary schools, and prioritizing bilingual skills in their programs that meet the needs of our Latino community in Southside Richmond. The work is not done. Today, we're celebrating the start of something, and we have a lot more work to do to break down the barriers that prevent our children from accessing the in and out of school opportunities that they deserve and need to succeed. To that end, United Way has committed to providing staff to support the coordination of out-of-school time programs. The Community Foundation is launching a new initiative to generate the resources necessary to sustain and expand the reach of high-quality extracurricular programming as well. And my team is working diligently with the RPS and other partners to determine how to reduce and eliminate transportation gaps found in the city. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a major step in our continuing effort to care for our most valuable assets, our children. By nurturing their minds, their bodies, not just during the school day, but after the bell rings as well. And it is a textbook example of what I mean when I talk about building one Richmond. It's all of us, public, private, and our nonprofit partners coming together to ensure that all of our children have an opportunity to succeed right in our city limits. So I want to thank our funders, those who are willing to make an investment, our nonprofit partners, those who work alongside me in government, Council President Chris Hoper, the school board, our city council partners, Delegate Bowen, and all of our citizens here in the city of Richmond who make all of our children the #1 priority. Thank you all so much. And now, I'd like to introduce Jennifer Hunter from Altria to share some remarks about their commitment to our work. Jennifer.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mayor Stoney and Damon, for hosting all of us here today. I'm Jennifer Hunter, and it is my privilege to lead communications and corporate citizenship at Altria. And it is an honor to be here with friends and colleagues and leaders from across Richmond as we make these amazing announcements about how we are going to further support our young people to thrive and reach their full potential. Many of us have contributed to out-of-school time programs in Richmond for years because we understand how important activities like sports, culinary programs, chess, dancing contribute to young people's success. With studies showing that 80% of learning happens informally outside of school, quality out-of-school time programs build upon and complement quality K-12 instruction. Not only do these programs enrich the lives of kids, they also provide a safe place for the caring adult. They lead to better school attendance, greater resiliency to peer pressure, and improved classroom behavior and academic performance. These kinds of results require the efforts of many. We're familiar with the African proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. It also takes a bold vision and leadership. I want to recognize the mayor and others for his vision to make high quality, fun, engaging, after-school learning something that every child in Richmond students have access to. But building and sustaining a high-quality, out-of-school time system is no small feat. It requires all of us to do things differently and together to make a greater impact, and that includes the funding community. Our friends from the Community Foundation and Robbins Foundation believe in this vision as much as we do and have contributed and been leaders in this space for decades. I'm proud that Altria, the Community Foundation, and the Robbins Foundation, and the city are investing together to help increase access to out-of-school time programs. We're learning together, we're planning together, we're working hard every day to make a greater impact collaboratively. So today, I'm pleased to announce on behalf of these three organizations that our collective investments this school year for out-of-school time programs will be approximately $6 million. Now what's exciting is this represents a $2 million increase from the last school year. These resources will support the sustainability of existing programs and the expansion of additional program offerings. By working together with all of our amazing nonprofit partners, we can drive positive change for students in Richmond and work to spread these programs across the city. This is an exciting time for our city and most importantly, our kids. We look forward to working with others and having others join in this effort. So at this time, it is my privilege to welcome to the podium Sherry Armstrong, President and CEO of the Community Foundation.
Good morning, everyone. It is really, truly an honor and a privilege, and I have chills right now. This is an amazing effort that I think has taken everyone to come together, and I want to touch a bit on why this issue of quality is really important. And as a funder and an investor in these programs for many, many years, it's really interesting. I think we're at a really strong position because we have truly quality programs in the city and in the region. Our providers are far above any that I've ever seen, and it is just amazing that we're in this position of strength to be able to continue the kind of investment we can make with the mayor and with others to really scale this effort. And I want to personally thank the after-school providers that are in the room, those mentioned earlier. This has been obviously an effort to think about what does investment look like, but we could not have done this without partnership with all of you in the room to really help us think about how do we do this right, how do we do it collectively, and how do we really bring quality to scale. And just a couple of things related to quality, I think it's important for us to understand as we think about access and quality, to be able to sustain and maintain that's going to be really important for all kids. And when we define quality, it really, the research has shown that children and youth who participate in out-of-school time programming are more out-of-school time programming more likely than their non-participating peers to do well in school, get sufficient exercise, and avoid involvement in risky behaviors. Quality programs prepare young people for success in school and beyond, giving them the tools they need to be confident and make positive choices about their future. There's also academic success that goes along with this. Children and youth who participate in these programs attend school more regularly, and we've seen that just with our programs that are in place today, the attendance that has increased as a result of the kids that have participated, their behavior has improved, and ultimately they're making better grades, and they're able to continue to think about school as part of their pathway to success. It matters to education. Expanded learning helps youth learn better, feel better, and do better throughout the school day. Students who participated in some of the research and the results we've had to date, who participate in a network of quality providers for 30+ days have significantly better attendance, and all those outcomes we've been able to demonstrate in Richmond today. I think the other thing around quality, it's a benefit to our children and our families, but it's a benefit to the community. For every dollar spent on quality after-school programs, the community recovers anywhere from $3 to $5 in education and juvenile crime savings. And by investing in our young people, we invest in the future of Richmond, its diversity, economic vitality, and vibrancy. The more students we reach, the greater positive impact on our region as a whole. So this initiative is important to our families, it's important to our children, and it's important to our success as a region. So thank you to everybody in the room who's been part of this, and thank you, Mayor Stoney, for your effort. And at this time, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Kelly Chopas with the Robbins Foundation.
Good morning. So you've heard about the why from Jennifer, you've heard about the what from Sherry. I'm going to tell you about the how. This is just the beginning of a new phase. It's our community phase. We need your support to get there. Our kids need you. We're asking our partners from the private and nonprofit sector to align with us in an effort to support this greater work. We're asking you to support a greater learning environment for Richmond's kids. First, we've created a shared donor fund at the Community Foundation. This is for two reasons: to support strategic, sustainable, and high-quality programming for our children, and to have a simple mechanism for all of you to contribute as well. That's really important. Your financial support will broaden our capacity and provide opportunities to more deeply engage in this work. This fund will facilitate that process and clearly make it easier for everyone in this community to join with us to support our kids. Second, and to that end, there will be an open information session on September 18th. It will be hosted at the Community Foundation, and you're going to learn more about this important work. We'll share more details at that meeting, and we've already sent an email invitation. If you haven't received it, see one of us at the conclusion of this event, and we'll give you more details. Finally, and this is the most important. Sometime in October, we're going to have a wider community event. We'll hold an information session to bring everyone under the same tent, to give everybody the same information, to allow for more people to lead, engage, and more fully support our children. Once we've scheduled this event, we'll promise to share that information widely through all of our websites, through the city, and through many of the partners that are here today. We believe our children are important. We know you do too. Let's work together and show them that they mean something, that they are our greatest resource, and that we can and should do something to ensure their futures. Thank you for joining us here today. And it's now my great pleasure to introduce Chris Hilbert, who is the president of your city council.
Thank you so much, boy. Good morning. This is indeed a great morning. We have 6 million reasons to be thankful. So I just want to say, and I'll be brief, that Mr. Addison here, my colleague from the First District, thank you for being here. You know, there's a lot going on here in the East End, but there's a lot going on all over our city. A lot of, it could be the boom times, some people could say, but the fact is that if we don't bring everyone along with us, it's all for naught. This, that clinking symbol symbolizing nothing out there, as the Bible says, that we have to bring everyone along. And this is certainly such a great partnership, and I'm so glad to be a part of it. And I want to commit to you, and I speak, I believe, on behalf, and I know I do, on behalf of all the City Council, that we want to be part of this, that we will be a part of it. We're going to fund and continue to fund these out-of-school programs because we know they're important. We're going to do this in relation, in partnership with the mayor. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. I said I wasn't going to be long, and I'm going to try and keep that promise and introduce to you a school board member from the 7th District, Ms. Burke.
It's a great day in the 7th District this morning, is it not? As a retired elementary school principal here in the 7th District, I have witnessed firsthand the benefits of having quality after-school programs. And I'm so excited, Mr. Mayor, I might go back to being a principal. Not hard.
We'll take you.
Richmond Public Schools has partnered with various community organizations, as stated, for over 30 years. So just think, this is a great day in our city for our children, every child. Currently, over 1,200 students in the elementary and middle schools participate in out-of-school time programs. This number will grow with the mayor's focus on expansion of out-of-school time programs this school year, including, as he stated earlier, yes, we will have a new George Mason Elementary School, but just think, we're not going to wait for the new school in order to have this partnership. That's awesome. Together, we make great strides. Due to the continued partnerships with the nonprofits and the City of Richmond and Richmond Public Schools, we are improving and enhancing our experiences for our children. As Damon stated earlier, I've seen how our children we know where they are after school. Parents are working. We know they are in quality programs, and I don't want to name any because we have quite a few, but you know who they are. Just think, as we think of every child, which is what we should be about. Within, by the year 2020, you stated, every child in every elementary and middle school will have the opportunity to participate in chess games, athletics, field trips. I see it as enhancing the academic program because it does work together. And when we work together, as I stated earlier, we do great things. Just think, what we've already heard about the Peter Paul Development Center, excited about enhancing their programs. We must continue to invest in our children in the classroom and in the community. This is an example of what we can do to enhance every child's academic and social experiences. We in the East End welcome the opportunity and appreciate this initiative. I also bring you greetings this morning and congratulations on behalf of the 7th District City Council Representative, Dr. Cynthia Newbill, who is on official business this morning in our city, outside the city. So she and I have celebrated already, and bring it. Thank you.
All right. Everybody feel good? Everybody excited? Great, let's give ourselves a real round of applause. Thank you all so much. As Councilman Gilbert alluded to a little earlier, we've got 6 million reasons to be excited. Even more importantly than that, we've got 24,000 hearts, minds, and souls to be excited about, right? So let's keep that at the forefront of our minds and our hearts as we continue to do this work. I want to thank you all again, thank our funders and the mayor and the city and all of you for continuing to do this hard work. Let's not take our foot off the pedal, collectively taking our foot off the pedal. This is just the beginning. We've got a lot of work to do. We can do it. Our children are worthy of it. All right? So let's make sure that we stay at the table, stay engaged, demand the best of our children, expect the best from our children and their families, our educators, our service providers, our funders, everyone. We need each and every one of you all to stay at these tables for our children. So thank you all for being here. I do want to acknowledge the Front Porch Cafe that has provided us with some food and beverage. In keeping with today's theme here, that's an entrepreneurial effort here in Churchill that employs several of our young people. They work at that cafe. So let's go out and support them out there on 9 Mile Road as well. All right? So thank you all. Stick around. Have a good time. You don't have to leave anytime soon. Stay here. Take a tour. This is your home away from your office homes. If you have any questions for anyone, feel free to just kind of mingle amongst yourselves afterwards. So thank you all and have a great day.